Listen to me. You're not here by accident. You didn't wake up just to go through the motions. You didn't survive everything you've been through just to blend in. You were built different. You were born with purpose. But none of that matters if you don't believe in yourself. You were born with purpose. This is not just a cliche phrase people throw around to make you feel better when life gets tough. It is a fundamental truth about who you are and why you exist on this planet. From the moment you took your first breath, there was a reason for it, a unique reason that no one else can fulfill but you. But you. You are not here by accident. Your existence matters, and your life has a meaning deeper than you can currently see or understand. Sometimes the world tries to convince you otherwise. It throws obstacles, failures, and criticisms your way, trying to make you doubt your worth and your significance. But the truth remains. You are designed for something great. Think about the intricate way your body functions, the beating of your heart, the firing of neurons, the way your eyes catch light and your hands move to create. All of this complexity and precision did not happen by random chance. It was meant to be. In the same way, your presence in this world is intentional. You are a product of countless generations before you, and you carry within you the power to shape the future. Your purpose is not just about what you do for a living or the titles you earn. It's about the impact you make, the legacy you leave, and the way you show up for yourself and others every single day. Purpose is not always clear right away. It often takes time, struggle, and self-discovery to reveal itself. You might feel lost, unsure where you're headed, or overwhelmed by choices. That's normal. Life isn't a straight path. It's full of twists, turns, and moments where you have to pause and But don't let uncertainty make you forget that you have a reason to keep going. Even when you stumble or fail, you're still moving towards something meaningful. Sometimes the hardest moments teach us the most about what we're meant to do. They test our strength, resilience, and commitment to ourselves. Believing in your purpose means trusting that your life has value beyond what you see in the mirror or what others tell you. It means understanding that your talents, your experiences, and even your struggles are all part of a bigger plan crafted specifically for you. You were given certain gifts for a reason. Maybe it's your creativity, your kindness, your leadership, or your ability to overcome adversity. Whatever it is, it's yours to use. It's yours to develop, share, and multiply. When you start living with the mindset that your purpose matters, you stop living for the approval of others or trying to fit into someone else's mold. Instead, you step into your own light and let it shine bright. Many people make the mistake of comparing themselves to others and thinking, I'm not as talented or I can buy what it takes. But the truth is, comparison steals joy and kills purpose. Your journey is unique. What you bring to the table, no one else can. When you focus on living your purpose instead of someone else's expectations, you create a life that feels fulfilling and authentic. That's when you wake up every morning energized because you know why you're here and you're ready to tackle whatever comes your way. Your purpose also connects you to others in ways you might not realize. It's not just about personal success. It's about contribution. When you embrace your purpose, you naturally influence those around you. You inspire people by your example. Your determination, your courage, your passion, they become a beacon for others who are searching for their own purpose. Remember, one person living fully in their purpose can create a ripple effect that changes families, communities, and even entire generations. You have the power to be that catalyst. Sometimes society tries to define success for you, money, status, or fame. But true success comes when you align your actions with your purpose. When you stop chasing things that don't fulfill you and start focusing on what lights you up inside, life changes. Purpose gives you direction and clarity. It makes hard decisions easier because you know what matters most. It fuels your perseverance because you're no longer working just for the short term. You're working towards something that lasts. Discovering your purpose is a journey inward. It requires you to listen deeply to your own heart and mind, away from distractions and noise. It asks you to be honest with yourself about what you love, what challenges you want to solve, and how you want to be remembered. This self-awareness is not selfish, it's essential. Without it, you risk living a life shaped by others' expectations or circumstances instead of by your own calling. The beauty of purpose is that it can evolve. What feels right today might change as you grow, learn, and experience more. That's okay. Purpose is not a static destination, but a living, breathing part of your life. You can adapt, refine, and expand it without losing the core of who you are. The key is to keep seeking it and never settle for less than what makes your heart beat faster. Every setback, every challenge, every moment of doubt is an opportunity to reconnect with your purpose. When you remember why you started, it gives you strength to push through. Your purpose becomes your anchor in the storm. It keeps you steady when the winds of life try to knock you down. No matter how many times you fall, you can rise again because you are tied to something greater than temporary failure or criticism. Knowing you were born with purpose means living with intention. It means waking up every day with the question, what can I do today that moves me closer to fulfilling my mission? It means making choices that honor your gifts and your goals. And it means having the courage to walk your own path, even when it's hard or lonely. The world needs you to believe in this truth about yourself. Because when you believe, you act. When you act, you create. And when you create with purpose, you change your life and the lives of everyone around you in ways you never imagined possible. Belief fuels action in a way nothing else can. It is the invisible force that pushes you forward when everything inside you wants to quit. Without belief, no matter how much talent you have, no matter how many opportunities come your way, you will remain stuck, frozen by doubt and fear. You can have the skills, the knowledge, and the resources, but if you don't believe you deserve success, if you don't believe you can achieve your goals, you will sabotage your own progress. Belief is the starting point, the spark that lights the fire. It's what transforms ideas and dreams into real, tangible results. Think about the moments when you felt unstoppable. Chances are those moments were fueled by belief. Belief in yourself, belief in your vision, belief that the hard work would pay off. That belief gave you courage to step into the unknown, to take risks others might avoid, to push through pain and setbacks. It doesn't mean you had all the answers or that the path was easy. It means that deep down you trusted that your effort mattered, that your dream was worth fighting for. Without that trust, it's easy to give up at the first sign of failure or criticism. Belief is not some magical power that only certain people have. It is something you can build and strengthen, just like a muscle. The more you practice believing in yourself, the more natural it becomes. It starts with small steps, choosing to speak kindly to yourself, refusing to accept negative labels, setting achievable goals, and celebrating every victory, no matter how small. Each of these moments chips away at doubt and builds confidence. Over time, your belief grows until it becomes a foundation so strong that obstacles no longer shake it. When you lack belief, your mind becomes a battlefield. Negative thoughts creep in, whispering that you're not good enough, that you'll fail, that you should just quit and settle for less. If you start with belief, you create momentum that carries you forward. Every successful person you admire has had to believe in themselves first. They faced the same fears and uncertainties, but they chose to believe that they could overcome, achieve, and rise above. That belief gave them the power to take action when others hesitated. To build this belief, you must take ownership of your story. Stop listening to voices that say you're not enough. Surround yourself with people who lift you up and challenge you to be better. Remind yourself daily of your past successes and the progress you've made. Visualize your goals and feel the excitement of achieving them. Replace "I can't" with "you are will" and watch how your mindset transforms. Belief isn't always easy, but it is necessary. When belief fuels your action, you become unstoppable. You develop a fire inside that no obstacle can extinguish. You start living a life where your dreams are no longer distant fantasies, but realities in progress. It's not about luck or talent alone. It's about the relentless belief that what you want is possible and the willingness to do whatever it takes to get it. Overcoming fear and doubt is one of the most critical steps you will ever take on the journey to success. Fear and doubt are natural emotions. They show up for everyone, no matter how confident or experienced they seem. These feelings exist because deep down, your mind is wired to protect you from pain, failure, and the unknown. Fear whispers lies, telling you that you aren't good enough, that you'll fail, or that you should play it safe and stay where it's comfortable. Doubt creeps in quietly, planting seeds of uncertainty about your abilities, your decisions, and your future. But here's the truth. Fear and doubt are not enemies to be feared. They are signals. They are opportunities to confront what holds you back and to grow stronger through the struggle. The problem is when fear and doubt become the bosses of your life, controlling your choices and stopping you from moving forward. This happens when you let those feelings become excuses for inaction. You convince yourself that the risks are too high or that you don't deserve success. You start to believe the stories your mind tells you instead of the truth you know deep inside, that you have what it takes to rise above. The moment you accept fear and doubt as natural but refuse to let them decide your fate, you take a huge step toward freedom. You gain the power to choose courage over comfort, progress over stagnation. Fear often disguises itself as a voice of reason. It tells you to wait for the perfect moment, to avoid failure, or to stick with what's safe and known. But the perfect moment rarely comes. Waiting is a trap because the longer you wait, the more fear grows and the easier it becomes to give up before you even start. Doubt works similarly, whispering that you're not ready, not talented enough, or that others are better. These voices want to keep you small and stuck in your comfort zone. But comfort zones are prisons dressed up as safety. They prevent you from becoming who you're truly meant to be. The first step to overcoming fear and doubt is to recognize them for what they are: temporary feelings, not permanent truths. Fear feels real, but it's often based on imagined scenarios or worst-case outcomes that haven't happened. Doubt seems logical, but it is usually a reflection of your insecurities, not your actual potential. When you start to see fear and doubt as illusions, you strip them of their power. You stop giving them control over your decisions. Instead, you begin to question their validity. Is this fear protecting me, or is it holding me back? Is this doubt based on facts or just my own worries? Next, you must take action despite fear and doubt. Action is the antidote. When you move forward, even in small steps, you weaken fear's grip. Each step you take proves to yourself that you can handle uncertainty and challenge. The more you face your fears head on, the less intimidating they become. Over time, what once felt paralyzing turns into motivation. Action builds confidence, and confidence pushes out doubt. It creates a positive cycle where your courage grows stronger with every experience. Another powerful way to overcome fear and doubt is to change your relationship with failure. Fear often grows from a fear of failing. We worry that failing means we're weak, incompetent, or destined to lose. But failure is not the enemy. It is a teacher. Every successful person has failed many times. What separates them from those who give up is the mindset they adopt toward failure. They see failure as feedback, a necessary part of growth, not a final verdict. When you learn to fail forward, you lose the fear associated with it. You realize that failure is simply a stepping stone on the path to success. Surrounding yourself with supportive people can also help diminish fear and doubt. Isolation allows these negative feelings to fester and grow unchecked. When you share your goals, struggles, and fears with others who believe in you, you receive encouragement, perspective, and accountability. Their faith in your potential can remind you of what you might forget in moments of doubt. Mentors, friends, and communities who uplift you create a protective environment where fear and doubt lose their loudness. You begin to internalize their support, which strengthens your own belief in yourself. Mindset plays a huge role in overcoming these obstacles. Training your mind to focus on what's possible rather than what could go wrong rewires your brain. This requires deliberate effort, like practicing gratitude, visualizing success, and repeating affirmations that build your self-worth. The more you feed your mind with positive, empowering thoughts, the less room there is for fear and doubt to grow. Over time, you start responding to challenges with curiosity and resilience rather than avoidance and worry. It's important to remember that courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is acting in spite of fear. Brave people feel the fear just like everyone else, but they don't let it stop them. They acknowledge it, then move forward anyway, because they know that what lies on the other side is worth the discomfort. The more you practice courage, the more natural it becomes. You build a muscle of bravery that strengthens with every choice to face your fears. Sometimes visualizing the worst-case scenario helps diminish fear. When you imagine the absolute worst that could happen and realize you can survive it, fear loses some of its hold. This mental exercise prepares you for reality and builds resilience. It shows you that you have the strength to handle setbacks and bounce back and bounce back. Knowing that you can endure failure makes taking risks less scary. You can also break big fears down into smaller, manageable parts. Sometimes fear feels overwhelming because the challenge seems too big or the unknown too vast. By dividing your goal into tiny steps and focusing on one at a time, fear becomes less intimidating. Small wins build momentum and prove to yourself that you are capable. This gradual approach weakens doubt by showing consistent evidence of progress. In addition, reframing your perspective on fear and doubt turns them into tools rather than barriers. They signal that you're pushing beyond your comfort zone, that you're growing. Instead of avoiding these feelings, welcome them as signs that you're on the right track. Each time fear or doubt shows up, it means you're about to expand your limits and develop new strength. When you embrace this mindset, fear becomes a guide, not a jailer. Finally, self-compassion is essential. Overcoming fear and doubt doesn't mean being perfect or never feeling afraid again. It means being patient and kind with yourself during the process. When fear creeps in, acknowledge it without judgment. When doubt paralyzes you, remind yourself that it's okay to feel this way. Treat yourself as you would a friend facing a tough challenge with encouragement and understanding. Or then understand. This gentle approach helps you move through fear rather than fight against it. All of these strategies, recognizing fear and doubt, taking action despite them, changing your mindset about failure, surrounding yourself with support, practicing courage, visualizing outcomes, breaking fears into steps, reframing feelings, have fun, and showing self-compassion, work together to free you from the chains that hold you back. They allow you to step into your power, lie boldly, and pursue your dreams without being stopped by what ifs and I can't. Waiting for permission or the perfect moment is one of the biggest traps that hold people back from achieving their dreams. Many of us fall into the habit of believing that success requires the ideal conditions, more time, more money, more experience, or a clearer plan. We convince ourselves that once everything lines up perfectly, then we will start. But the truth is, the perfect moment rarely arrives. Life is messy, unpredictable, and full of challenges. If you keep waiting for the stars to align, you may spend years stuck in the same place, watching others move forward while you stay behind. The key to progress is to start where you are, with what you have, and to trust that growth and opportunity will come as you take action. The idea of waiting for the right time to feel safe. It feels like you're being responsible, making sure everything is in order before risking failure. But in reality, this mindset often masks fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. By waiting, you avoid stepping into discomfort and uncertainty. However, avoiding discomfort doesn't lead to success. It leads to stagnation. The world rewards those who take bold steps, even when conditions aren't perfect. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's the willingness to act despite fear and uncertainty. Starting where you are means acknowledging your current situation without judgment. Maybe you don't have all the skills you want, maybe you lack resources, or maybe you feel overwhelmed by how far you still have to go. That's okay. No one begins their journey fully prepared. Every expert was once a beginner. What matters most is your willingness to begin and your commitment to keep going. Taking imperfect action is far more valuable than waiting for perfect action that never happens. Each step you take creates momentum, builds confidence, and teaches you something new. Many successful people share stories of starting with limited resources, knowledge, or support. They didn't wait for everything to be ideal. They learned and adapted as they moved forward. Their progress came from taking risks, making mistakes, and refining their approach. Waiting for the perfect moment can feel like control, but it's actually surrendering control to circumstances outside your power. When you start now, you reclaim your power. You become the driver of your destiny rather than a passenger waiting for external conditions to change. This principle applies to all areas of life, whether starting a business, learning a new skill, building relationships, or making health changes. Waiting to feel ready can trap you in indecision. Instead, readiness comes through action. The more you practice, the more confident and capable you become. The path becomes clearer as you walk it. Taking initiative, even with uncertainty, opens doors that waiting never will. It's important to recognize that action doesn't have to be perfect or monumental. Small, consistent steps can lead to massive results over time. Sometimes people think they need to overhaul their entire life or make huge leaps to make progress. That mindset creates overwhelm and causes paralysis. Instead, focus on what you can do today, right now, with the resources and time you have. That might mean writing a paragraph if you want to write a book, making a phone call if you want to start networking, or doing a short workout if you want to get healthier. Small actions build habits, and habits shape your future. Another reason waiting for permission or the perfect moment is harmful is that it places your fate in the hands of external approval. You may be waiting for someone to say yes, to give you a sign, or to confirm that you're on the right track. When you rely on others' validation, you give away your power. Your dreams and goals should not depend on external validation. You are the only person qualified to decide when and how to pursue what matters to you. Taking ownership of your journey means trusting your inner voice and acting on your intuition, even if others don't understand or support you initially. The perfect moment is a myth because life will always present challenges and distractions. Even people who seem to have everything figured out face setbacks, unexpected events, and doubts. The difference is they don't wait for obstacles to disappear. They work through them. They learn to navigate uncertainty and adapt their plans as needed. Flexibility and resilience are essential qualities for success. Waiting for conditions to be perfect is a form of resistance that slows your progress and keeps you stuck. When you stop waiting and start doing, you open yourself up to growth. You discover strengths and abilities you didn't know you had. You build resilience by facing difficulties head on. You create a feedback loop where every action teaches you something new, helping you improve and refine your approach. This process of learning through doing is far more powerful than theoretical preparation or endless planning. It's in the doing that your vision takes shape and becomes real. Many people regret the time they spent waiting instead of acting. They look back and realize that their fears and doubts held them hostage. They understand that the perfect moment they waited for never arrived because it doesn't exist. What truly mattered was their willingness to take imperfect action and keep moving forward despite uncertainty. Their success stories are not about flawless beginnings, but about persistence, courage, and the refusal to wait forever. Another important aspect is to cultivate a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity. Waiting often comes from a scarcity mindset, a belief that you don't have enough time, resources, or opportunity. This mindset narrows your focus and increases anxiety. Shifting to an abundance mindset means believing there are enough chances for you to grow, learn, and succeed. When you start where you are, you tap into the resources around you, make creative use of what you have, and attract more opportunities through your efforts. It's also helpful to reframe failure and setbacks as part of the process rather than reasons to wait. The fear of failure often fuels the desire to wait for perfect conditions. But failure is not the opposite of success. It's a crucial ingredient. Each setback gives you valuable information, builds your resilience, and strengthens your resolve. The sooner you start, the sooner you learn and improve. Delaying action only delays your growth and success. Accountability can be a powerful tool to overcome the temptation to wait. Sharing your goals with someone who will check in on your progress creates external motivation. It helps you push past hesitation and excuses. When you commit to someone else, you're less likely to put things off. Accountability partners, mentors, or coaches provide encouragement, guidance, and sometimes a much-needed kick to keep moving. Starting where you are also means embracing imperfection. It means accepting that your first attempts won't be flawless and that mistakes are inevitable. Instead of being paralyzed by the need to be perfect, allow yourself to be a beginner. Growth happens when you give yourself permission to learn through trial and error. The path to mastery is paved with failures, adjustments, and persistence. Ultimately, the power to start lies within you. You don't need external approval or ideal conditions to begin chasing your dreams. The moment you decide to act, regardless of fear or doubt, is the moment you take control of your life. You send a message to yourself and the world that you are ready to grow, ready to learn, and ready to succeed. When you stop waiting and start doing, you step into your power and move closer to the life you want to create. Consistency is the secret ingredient that separates those who dream from those who achieve. Talent, luck, and motivation can only take you so far. It's the daily, relentless commitment to showing up that creates lasting success. Consistency means doing the work even when you don't feel like it, even when progress seems slow or invisible. It means resisting the urge to quit when obstacles arise or excitement fades. Without consistency, even the best plans and intentions remain just ideas and wishes. It is the steady effort over time that builds momentum, hones skills, and ultimately leads to breakthrough results. One of the reasons consistency is so powerful is because it transforms small actions into habits. Habits are automatic behaviors that no longer require intense willpower or motivation to perform. When you consistently put in effort day after day, you train your brain and body to follow through naturally. Over time, what once felt difficult becomes easier and more natural. This automaticity frees up mental energy and allows you to focus on growth rather than struggling with discipline. Building habits through consistency creates a foundation for sustainable success. Consistency also builds trust in yourself. When you commit to showing up regularly and honoring your goals, you prove that you can rely on yourself. This trust is critical because your relationship with yourself is the most important one you will ever have. If you constantly break promises to yourself, your confidence erodes and self-doubt grows. But when you are consistent, you create a sense of integrity and reliability within. This internal trust strengthens your belief that you are capable of achieving what you set out to do, which in turn fuels further action and commitment. Another powerful aspect of consistency is that it creates compound effects. Just like money grows through compound interest, your efforts grow exponentially when you remain consistent. Small improvements each day add up to massive gains over weeks, months, and years. The key is persistence. Continuing to put in the work even when immediate results are not visible. Many people give up too soon because they expect instant success or become discouraged by slow progress. Consistency teaches patience and faith in the process. It reminds you that real change takes time, but every step forward is a victory. Consistency is also a way to overcome the natural ups and downs of motivation. Motivation fluctuates. Some days you wake up energized and ready to tackle your goals. Other days you feel tired, distracted, or uninspired. If you rely solely on motivation, your progress will be erratic and unpredictable. Consistency, on the other hand, creates a discipline that doesn't depend on mood or circumstance. It's a commitment to action regardless of how you feel. This reliability is what keeps your momentum going when motivation wanes. It's important to note that consistency doesn't mean perfection. No one can be perfectly consistent every single day. Life happens, unexpected events, illness, fatigue. The key is to develop resilience and get back on track quickly when you stumble. Missing one day or facing setbacks doesn't erase all your progress. What matters is the overall pattern of regular effort over time. When you view consistency as a long-term practice rather than an all-or-nothing standard, it becomes sustainable and realistic. Setting clear, manageable goals is essential to maintaining consistency. When your goals are vague or overwhelming, it's easy to lose focus or feel discouraged. Breaking your bigger goals into smaller, achievable tasks makes it easier to take consistent action. Each completed task provides a sense of accomplishment that motivates you to keep going. Now, clear goals also help you measure progress, which reinforces your commitment and keeps you accountable. Accountability can play a crucial role in supporting consistency. Sharing your goals with a friend, mentor, or coach creates external pressure to follow through. Knowing that someone else is watching your progress encourages you to stay disciplined and avoid procrastination. Accountability partners can also provide encouragement and celebrate your wins, making the journey more enjoyable and motivating. Another factor that supports consistency is creating an environment that reduces friction and distractions. Habits are easier to build when your surroundings support the behaviors you want to develop. This might mean organizing your workspace, setting reminders, or eliminating temptations that pull you away from your goals. By designing your environment thoughtfully, you make it simpler to stick to your commitments and maintain steady progress. Consistency also strengthens your ability to learn and improve. When you engage in deliberate practice regularly, you give yourself the opportunity to identify weaknesses, make adjustments, and refine your skills. Sporadic effort leads to fragmented learning and slower growth. Consistent effort, however, allows for continuous feedback and improvement cycles, accelerating your development and bringing you closer to mastery. The power of consistency is evident in every successful person you admire. Their achievements are not the result of occasional bursts of effort, but of daily dedication. They have cultivated habits of